So Tyson Fury wants to fight Manuel Charr. It's pretty obvious, and the public, are not the brightest if they actually think otherwise, in all honesty. And I think that there is absolutely no way this contract gets signed on Monday because it's still a long way to be done.
I don't think so. I think that the Joshua fight and the idea behind it is a sprat to catch a mackerel. I think he wants to fight Usyk. He wants to bring Usyk forward. He wants to make a better deal. He wants to fight it in Saudi, and he wants to take control of the situation. And there's no reason for Joshua not to take this fight because he's had all of the dynamic. If you're led to believe what Tyson is saying and what Frank is saying, then there's no reason for Anthony Joshua. I would suspect there's a bit more devil in the detail, but I don't think that fight happens now.
Because I'm sick to death of hearing about him. I'm sick to death of hearing about him. I think, again, they've both got a lot of dough, haven't they? Got a lot of dough. Have a bit of sense. Don't go back in there as heavyweights fighting. You got a load of money, just retire. Yeah. Just retire, because heavyweight division, all we've had lately is like Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. People are bored of it. People are bored of it. You know what I mean? People are cancelling Sky now, and they're cancelling contracts for TV, and they're buying these little chipsticks and everything now because they don't want to pay for it. Nobody wants to see it anymore.
And I've heard it's happening, and I think it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. I think it's a great thing for everyone involved. I think it's still a massive fight, regardless of what the last result against Usyk. Usyk's not saying great. So's Tyson Fury. Joshua, I believe could be. I believe that he's changed the game unrecognisably. He's changed this game of ours for the better. So he deserves credit on a massive scale. I hope it happens. I hope that they both earn decent dough. Regardless of the dough, I hope that they really, really get it on because it's magnificent for our sport. There'll be a buzz around any city it's in, whether it's in Saudi Arabia, whether it's in Abu Dhabi, whether it's in London, whether it's in Hackney Marshes, whether it's in Bolton Stadium. Who gives a monkeys? Just let them fight, and it'll be great. And God willing, hope it happens.
If AJ does let his hands go, he still won't beat Tyson. If he had arms like an octopus and as many hands as an octopus, he still couldn't beat Tyson. So all that bullshit saying, if AJ lets his hands go, do you think Tyson's going to be stood there so they can land on him? And I'll tell you this much, Tyson will be Andy Ruiz and Joshua on the same night.
Put my money on it, I would say it's not happening. I'm not optimistic that he believes that this fight's going ahead. I think all the teams got together and so on and so on. A load of shite, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to have a run out with someone what's in my shape and have a proper camp, proper sparring, a lot of Southport sparring, and get prepped for Usyk. Because no one in the right mind is going to roll the dice with a big fight with £100 million on line to satisfy some idiots in armchairs. So he's going to be probably fighting Manuel Charr, which I could have a good tussle with myself. And have an easy run out, but he's going to have in that camp. He's going to have world-class Southport sparring. He's going to get his body in shape, and then he's going to give his body a little rest, and then he's going to go on the big fight for the unification fight and give Usyk a boxing lesson. And if that can't happen because he's in his Southport stance and he's struggling with that, he can take it to him from round 1 to round 12.
A great deal of red tape to go through before, obviously BT, DAZN, there's all sorts of broadcasting issues. Plus on top of that, there's the finances, but there's the 60-40 call out.
That surprised you, the 60-40, because everyone said 70-30, 75-25. Obviously, we know what Tyson's like, but he's done the 60-40. Eddie team quite like it.
I think Tyson wants to fight, and I think he wants to fight Joshua at some point, and why not now? AJ, what do you do with him? Benger's on the boat. I might have a word with him or what he thinks. But what do you do? My first reaction was to get him back in the ring quickly, give him a fairly decent sort of comeback fight, maybe at the O2 against a Manuel Charr or Jermaine Franklin or someone that he would have a good night with, and then we could get him in with the likes of a Dillian White. It's not my business anymore. It's DAZN's, it's Matchrooms, it's 258. But obviously I'm a big supporter of Anthony Joshua and like to see the best thing happen. But all of a sudden the curveball comes out for Tyson. You never know quite what's serious or not serious, but it seems like both of them want this fight. And look, if Eddie and Frank and George and Bob can all get around a table and somehow make this happen, it's great. It's great for the people. It's fantastic for the fans. It's wonderful for all of us. And ultimately, let's see if we can make it happen.
Because these fighters want the fight. So it doesn't matter because, again, as I said, these guys are in a unique position to be the buck stops with them. This fight's happening. I don't care what you're saying, X, Y, Z say it. So that is for their backroom staff to sort that out. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. They want to do the fight, so it's fight's going to happen.
We've been so far. Everyone's being kind of keeping this hush hush, and I think that's the right way to be. We haven't got forever, and they know that. I don't think they've got forever either. They've got their plans. If it doesn't happen, we've got our plans. At the moment, we're all optimistic. We're all talking, confident it can be done. For us, it can be made. That's what we want to do.
I don't know. Who knows? It's heavyweight boxing, and different things happen. Things will happen at different times. I think that it's went a little bit quiet in the last few days, which is probably a good sign. I don't think that's a bad sign. Hopefully the guys are all working behind the scenes to get things done, and it will be an honour for me to work on a fight of such magnitude.
Maybe we get to the point where a lot of fights are happening. There's pressure on promoters. Things are happening. Not as much punishment for losses. Dillian White, as I said, AJ now. Guys are still in demand. They can keep going. I think a traditional promoter would say Anthony maybe should take a bit more time because he's just got this new training camp, and if he wants to come back, and he doesn't need the money anymore. A lot of people would just retire because he've earned that much money, but he loves the sport clearly, so he might want to develop his craft. I don't know, but obviously it's a massive opportunity, and Tyson stuck it on him in his usual way. It might happen, it might not, but I'm just glad that we're part of an era where fights can happen cross-platform all the time, and I think it's going to get more and more and more. I really do.
There's a lot of politics. It's you think some things, whether they're just for views, for likes. I don't know if it's mind games. I just do think it happens this year. Absolutely not. Might be. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think it happens this year.
There'll be talks on Monday.